it was necessary to lay a specific foundation. Now we can talk about some other things. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. Paul says our lives should be regarded in this manner, as stewards of the mysteries of God. God has mysteries. He has secrets. Psalm 25:14 says, "For the secrets of the Lord are with those who fear him, and he will make them know his covenant." Proverbs 25, verse 2. "For it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but it is the glory of kings to search it out." There are things that have been concealed that require searching. There are secrets and mysteries. 1 Corinthians 1. "For no eye has seen, no ear heard, those things that God has in store for them who love him. However, we have been given the Spirit, who searches the deep things of God, who knows the deep things of God. For who knows the things in a man except the mind of a man? And the Spirit searches the deep things of God and knows the deep things of God. And we have been given," 1 Corinthians 1:16, "the mind of Christ, that we might have God's secrets and mysteries accessible." There are secrets and mysteries that our lives are to be governed by. Your life is not to be lived out by natural reason. Bless you. By fleshly wisdom. In fact, your life is to embody an otherworldly wisdom.
Yes.
And I believe that one of the ways this otherworldly wisdom is accessible, not the only way, hear me, I'm not trying to corner the market on access to God, but one of the ways that this otherworldly wisdom is accessible is through the means or through the place of fasting. Because fasting allows me to sift my thoughts against God's thoughts. Fasting brings me into rest. And until I'm at rest, I can't be honest. Rest is extremely important. It was so important that Jesus said, "I only do those things I see my Father doing. And I only say the things that I hear my Father saying." Rest is what aligns us. It resynchronizes us with the ebbs and flows of the Spirit. It's what positions us once again to be in perfect alignment with the Spirit. But until we are at rest, we can't even be honest. Because until we're at rest, there are many other sifters and things by which we process the decisions or the moves or the things that we're a part of. Until I'm at rest, there are other emotions that are sifting through my decisions that need to be made. Until I'm at rest, there are other ambitions. There are other desires. There are other things that are helping me to process. Pain is helping me process. Emotional attachment is helping me process. Rest is one of the ways that frees me to find alignment with the will of God, or to fit my life into this otherworldly wisdom by which you and I are supposed to be regarded as stewards of. Paul was saying when people experience our life, one of the things that they should have as a takeaway is that their life is not lived by natural wisdom, but that they are connected to a God who has secrets, and their life is being lived out by the embodiment of those secrets that their God has restored to them that walk with him. Daniel chapter 2, 21 and 22. He says, "For there is a God in heaven who has secrets, and he reveals all mysteries. As him and his three friends turned to the Lord at the face of the loss of their life, when King Nebuchadnezzar went mad and said, 'If anyone can't tell me my dream and the interpretation thereof, I'm going to kill all of you.' And they said, 'There's no man alive that could do what you're asking.' And Daniel says, 'But there is a God in heaven.' And him and his three friends decided to go to sleep. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is take a nap.
Yeah.
They didn't stay up all night praying, they went to sleep. And God revealed it to them in a night vision. We walk with a God who has mysteries and secrets. And it is the accessing of this otherworldly counsel that Jeremiah speaks of in Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23:18, he says, "For there is a secret counsel of the Lord. For who has stood in the secret counsel of the Lord to see and to hear? But then who has listened and obeyed?" Because it's not enough just to simply see and hear. Many see and hear and yet miss the corresponding listening by application in the place of obeying. But as we not only see and hear, but as we listen and actually apply the wisdom that at times will be very contrary to what seems workable in a situation. In fact, at times it's so childlike we are offended by it and we refuse it. But to those who are like little children, let them come to me. For theirs is the kingdom. It's this same childlike wisdom, these otherworldly mysteries and secrets that men and women over the history of the scriptures have chosen to bring application to their lives and have seen God not only change their own life, but change the world around them. Consider, we take the stories in the scriptures and we take the end of a story and we place it in the beginning, believing that the individuals that were moving forward knew the end in the beginning, and I don't believe that many of them did. Because that would change the whole motive of the story. But you and I know the end and we read it into the beginning, and we believe moving from the beginning towards the end that we can have this same perspective, and at times it's just not simply the truth. Take, if you will, Daniel and his 3 friends in Daniel chapter 1. This is one of the places that we find Daniel fasting. In Daniel chapter 1, they've been put into a hostile situation. They are exiles in a pagan land under a wicked king. The king is not in their favor. The president of the land is not in their favor. Their entire government is against them. But Daniel and his friends choose the dietary changes that I believe was revealed to them by the Lord as they walked in a place of utter dependency on His voice. I believe that an utter dependency on the voice of the Lord, moment by moment, will equip us for every season of our life. Amen. And in this season where many things are unknowns, there are many variables by which they cannot control, they turn their face to the Lord. And the Lord says, for 10 days, eat only vegetables and drink only water. What? That sounds horrible. But for 10 days, they eat only vegetables and they drink only water. And at the conclusion of these 10 days, Daniel 1:17, at the conclusion of these 10 days, this is what we find. And unto Daniel and his friends, God gave wisdom and insight, understanding and learning. But over 21 days, as Daniel has now been fasting and setting himself to pray 3 times a day, even at the loss of his very own life, he has chosen to stick with the design. And by sticking with the consistency in the design, there is certain provisionary release for him. I believe that in moments of design, because I've had incredible moments of design, fast on these days, start day, end day, fast like this, do that. I believe that moments of design are extremely special. And I believe that there's a lot riding on the line in moments of design. But this is not also bondage. Right? Because we very easily can enter into a moment of design and may not necessarily complete a moment of design. And what do I do when I don't seem to uphold the instructions that have come to me? I remember one fast that came to me in a dream, and I entered into it. And man, I gave it everything I had. I remember one night even watching some pizza commercial before I went to bed. And I woke up in the middle of the night gnawing at my pillow. Come on, it's not always as spiritual as it seems. And I remember in the dream, I had started weeping because I knew that I was on a fast. And I woke up biting my pillow with tears running down my face. But a few days after that, I remember I had actually broken the fast. And I hadn't upheld the fullness of the design or the instructions that had come to me. And man, I had so much guilt, I thought I would die. I had a hard time even turning my face to the Lord, for I felt as if I had let Him down. And I remember sitting with the Lord and just saying, God, I'll do better next time. Speak to me again. I'll make it up to you next time. And I remember the Lord speaking to me so clearly. And He said, Mike, it's not your completion that moved my heart. But it was the desire in your heart that moved me more than you actually fulfilling the things that I spoke to you. Now, this isn't some immediate license to all of a sudden bow out. Because we really easily run in the opposite direction. It's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that there's something in our heart, the desire, even for those of us that have children. Man, when my kids run up to me and jump in my lap and just squeeze me to pieces, and I think to myself for a moment, man, they must want something. I ask them, I'm like, whoa, why are you here? I'm like, I just love you. I'll give them anything they want at that moment. Because it's their heart that moves me. It's their heart that moves me. I want you to know that there's something in your heart that moves God like nothing else in the world does. That there's a desire in you as you turn your face towards the Lord to please Him in different ways about your life that moves Him more even at times than the completion of specific instructions that are laid upon your life. And so even if there's one here sitting now that maybe you're carrying, even as I mentioned, like some sort of guilt or some sort of shame or some sort of letdown because maybe you haven't fulfilled things exactly as they've been revealed, I want you to be free right now in your heart and in your mind to know that God is pleased with you beyond the point of simple completion, but that the fact that you even wanted to get started was something that put a smile on His face in a way that you'll never be able to understand. Wow. The sheer fact that you would turn your face towards Him and start running in a specific direction, even if you couldn't or wouldn't make it all the way through, did something to Him. So yes, it can be designed. Yes, it can be desired. But it also can be disciplined. But the goal is not in and of itself, again, to simply just be found fasting. But fasting has been one of the ways that I have moved with God. I'm going to give you the recipe to my secret sauce. Fast and pray.
Come on. Yeah.
I have nothing else. I've got nothing else. I fast and pray. You're like, no, there's got to be more than that. There is. More fasting and praying.